Look, if you don't want to make that change within yourself, it's not going to get better. This might not apply to everybody, but if you feel like you're rock bottom, okay, and you're hoping for a better day, but you literally are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, that's a definition of insanity. You are provided with a choice every day. You are provided with multiple choices throughout the entire day. Take that choice, make that change. You've identified a problem. You're saying you're rock bottom. Got it. You're there now. There's only one way, and it's up. So change your mindset. Use that choice and go a freaking different direction. Love y'all. Faceman VTT out.
Day 3 of retirement. As an infantryman, I was asked if I could clean the sink. So let's look at this. Definitely some kind of grime on there. And I open up the cabinet. What do I use? Nothing comes to mind. Like my experience is my skill set. Nothing. Wait a minute. Everyone knows this is how you clean everything. Infantry, retired.
You can just take it.
Would you like a military discount?
Oh, do you offer one?
Honestly, cap of the day.
Thank you.
CC's Pizza is the county fair of restaurants. You go in there, you look around, you feel a little bit better about yourself, then you realize that you're in there too. Tell me I'm wrong. Well, let's be honest. You know, not everybody's made for this life. It's scary. You know, you gotta jump out of a plane while it's moving. That's not natural. It's high, it's fucking wet outside sometimes. It's snowy, it's hot, it's dry, it's shitty. Who the fuck would want to be airborne? Best job I ever had.
FleetTex is a proud partner of Veteran Trash Talk and has bought into the mission of lowering the veteran suicide rate. FleetTex wants to hire veteran trash talkers to install GPS tracking systems on fleet vehicles, focusing on Illinois, New Jersey, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee, but opportunities exist nationwide. Go to www.fleet-techs.com and apply today.
Like a little.
All right, now Buddy is talking live about female doctors checking your butthole. So the trash talk hour has started, right?
Yeah, it's already in full swing, guys.
That's right. Fire is in full swing.
Full swing.
All right, but anyways, those of you watching, welcome to the show. We are on location together in the Commonwealth of Virginia. All right, here we are. Where are we at? Cyber Bites
Foundation.
Cyber Bites Foundation. Hey, look up Cyber Bites Foundation. This place is really freaking cool, right? It is cool. And I think they're starting something for like lifelong learners and how to use technology to get better at stuff. All right, so I'm here to peddle my.
We're here learning.
I'm here to peddle my my suicide intervention, technology and try to retire twice before the age of 50. That's
I'll tell you what, the Sharps intervention training definitely interactive. It's
Yes,
fun.
you, buddy got an A+ in his sharp intervention.
Good job, buddy.
He was not reading the lines he was supposed to.
Even when he goes to the proctologist, he gets an A+.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, like it's easy to do it. It's easy to get through the sharps part. It's not easy to get through the anger management that's apparently in with the sharps part. That's the hard one.
Easy to get through the
For sure. So hey,
exactly.
This
just gotta relax.
This is going to be a fun. This is going to be a great show.
Just let it slide in. Just take it.
Yeah, I mean that's what they tell
don't
you.
fight it.
Right?
Don't be all nervous. It's all good.
Like it's just gonna happen.
It'll be over before you know it. Just close your eyes.
Go to a happy place.
I just automatically shrimp away and pee myself when it happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I don't like
Everything's
when they give
working
you
fine.
commentary when they're going up at you. Like, well, now you feel like pressure. Then you feel like
they
you
were
get a
talking-
pee. I'm like, just get this shit over with.
See, I've never had any
Now,
of them
hey,
talk to me. They just do it.
I know we're gonna get into a lot of the,
pillow talk.
we're gonna get into a lot of the triggered things that go on, in the veteran community. So again, if you are a victim of MST, please don't get triggered at these jokes. They're just jokes, okay? Like just like
At my expense,
yeah,
by the way.
at his expense.
Calm down.
okay?
And everybody else is like,
So just it's okay. All right, settle down. All right, but anyways, Dave is not here. We don't know why he has decided to not be on our show 2 weeks in a row.
He just got married.
But he was
doing
on
stuff?
last week.
Well,
he
he
just
was.
tried to cancel because
tried to cancel,
of
but we made him
boating
come on.
excursion.
Yeah. Mother Nature brought him on, yeah. So he has been trying to cancel, and we don't know why. So we hope Dave's okay. Dave, if you need to reach out, if the married life is already too tough for you, a weekend, let us know. We will come abduct you. We will take care of you. And anyways, Megan makes more money than you, so you can just divorce her and get half. Right?
You can stay married longer.
I hope that she signed a prenup.
She prenup the hell out of David.
Dave was raised in Germany, Megan. Careful. Okay? So careful. But all right, let's get down to it. We were supposed to have an author on today. He decided not to come on. But we still love him. We still support him.
He may be.
So
he may be on.
He might be. Thomas Wolfenden, all right, author of The Coconut Republic.
Yeah.
All right, so he was supposed to come out, but I think he got called in for like an emergency work appointment or something like that. Oh. So buy his book so he doesn't have to work anymore. All right.
You know what we should do? Just because he's not on, I could tell you. Okay, so
you could just read
close your eyes. Picture this. The year is 1987. The Cold War is rapidly winding
Why
down.
did his voice change?
And Dick Kruger, ex-CIA field officer, Vietnam veteran, and Green Beret. That could be Tim Kennedy. Is this the prequel to Tim Kennedy's life?
Yes.
Like, ex-CIA field officer, Vietnam veteran, Green Beret is now out of a job, but not for long. Kruger is hired by a South African mining company to lead the dignitary protection detail in a tiny island of Kuratongo. The new job is seemingly mundane at first in its tropical South Pacific island. That time has forgotten. Things soon take a turn for the worse as Kruger discovers the nation's leader has a dark and nasty secret. A secret the president must keep at all costs.
See, people don't understand why I don't actually write a script. I don't actually write a script because it doesn't matter. When we get on, it's straight fire. All right, it's straight.
You changed the script before we even went on.
I know.
Yeah,
but all right, so hey, those of you, we don't really talk about our sponsors, our partners anymore. What we do is we put it before and after the show. Go there and click on those QR codes. They have bought in. All right, to our mission, and they are giving our audience a discount. So if you want to rewind the video after we're done, or wait till the end, you can scan those QR codes and get a discount on all those products. All right, and then FleetTex is hiring people. All right, so if you're a veteran, they want to hire veterans. Go get a fucking job. Right?
Yeah.
If
good
you're
paying job.
Not just a job,
good paying one.
a good paying job.
Very
good paying job.
That you can work.
Yeah.
Some of your own hours,
Yeah.
even if it's the weekend.
The flexibility to work with how it works your schedule based on the schedules.
Yeah. But anyways,
that's great.
We don't have a conspiracy today because Dave's not allowed to talk anymore because he's married.
Maybe that's why Dave's not
Maybe the
on.
Men in Black came to his house.
Maybe they did. Maybe they
I was
silenced
going
him.
the same way. Maybe somebody wanted to shut him up, and so they were like,
talk about UFOs too much.
Well, we'll get to our guests here, AK, in a second, but AK is on the show with us, and we also have our special guest host, Clifford Bauman, the mental health warrior.
That's right.
All right. Those of you who don't know, Clifford Bauman is only here for fame and notoriety. All right. Like he doesn't care actually about this mission or anything. He just wants to be famous. Right, he does all this stuff with cars. Like, all right, see this green car? He's like, hey, can I put my car on your shirt, guys? Like, okay, fine, Cliff, if that makes you feel better. No, he's an awesome human being. I'm glad to have him here.
Take a ride in the car. Then
He lives right
Colin
here.
got in.
So Clifford has what, about 4 million followers on Rally Point?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So a lot of following, and he's he's a very funny person, and he's a very good human being. Of course, I had to talk trash about him a little bit, but
he's been drinking. So,
yeah, I've been drinking. I've been drinking this fine 10th Mountain bourbon. So
I spiked his drink.
Yeah, spiked it with bourbon.
Spiked your bourbon with more bourbon.
Spiked it with ice, right? So
I took the ice out of his bourbon so he could drink it like a man.
Yeah, and then, but anyways, Clifford will be first to go today, and the script said, Clifford, give us something good.
It did, and so here's my thing. And so I was watching Instagram the other day, and they were talking about toxic masculinity.
Well, this is
and I have a huge issue with that. First of all, what the
It's
hell
too
is
early.
it? Right?
Too early.
You know, I grew up in my dad was a very type A person, right? My older brother and sister's life was completely different than mine growing up. My dad was in charge of a motorcycle gang, and not just, hey, let's put a name on the back of our backs, a no shit motorcycle gang. And my older brother talked about, waking up in the middle of the morning and kicking some guy to go make him breakfast, and the guy made him breakfast. Well, mom and dad wanted a different life, so they moved away from that. And my younger sister and I had a completely different life. But, my dad made us all be type A people, right? I'm type A. All my friends are type A. I don't know. I have little tolerance for people that aren't.
You need type C.
Right?
I like
and but here's the thing. I have my sons grow up to respect people, respect women, respect every race, every color, everybody. But they're not going to be taken advantage of.
Right.
My sons are put in Taekwondo to do sports. They do things to be able to defend themselves because that's how I was raised. My dad always said, you never start a fight, but you damn well better finish it. And I taught my sons the same way. And I don't understand how, and juniors had to deal with this, kids get whiny about this, that, or the other. But in this video I'm sorry I went on a tangent. But in this video I'm talking about...
You're supposed to go on a tangent. It's your time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I can talk about what the hell I want. But in this video, they were talking about how, these women some women and some men in dresses, were talking about how they don't like men to be muscular or how they don't like men to be strong.
That's why I stopped working out.
Is that what it is? And I'm thinking, that should be completely the opposite.
Look at these shoes.
Right?
Yeah, boy.
There's a guy on Instagram, and I forget his name, but he says, what the hell are you going to do without men? Men's the one that makes the infrastructure work. Who makes this impossible thing living in cities, who's building these skyscrapers, who's doing the impossible things. What's going to happen if they don't exist?
I think you're talking about Jordan Peterson.
Yes.
Jordan Peterson said that. You know what else Jordan Peterson said?
Are you saying that he plagiarized?
Yeah.
No, he said he said he didn't know. No.
Yeah.
He just said he didn't know who said that one part.
Right.
And it was Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson also says, and I don't agree with everything, a vast majority of what he says, but he also says there's no virtue in being weak.
Yeah.
You find virtue in being strong, having the ability to protect, and then learning to control it. The virtue comes from not being having the ability to be abusive if you want to, but controlling it and using that strength for something positive as opposed to for something negative.
And that's one thing I like about Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu or any type of martial arts, right? Because that's what they teach you. Good example. My son was in 8th grade. He was trying out for the
shit. Everybody did take Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junior was a second-degree black belt. He went to the Junri dojo in Falls Church, which is the father of Taekwondo in
like Ralph Macchio. That's
regular karate.
Yeah, regular karate.
I fucking did the drinking.
Is that what you did? Yeah. Paint on, paint off. Wax on, wax off. Hey, go wax my mustache. It's out front.
Taekwondo, they break boards to make belts, and then so you listen to Mr. Miyagi when his brother is chopping Soto is chopping the wood.
Yeah.
Not his brother.
Is it uncle or something
brother.
or something
Come on,
like that?
dude. It's his best friend.
Best friend,
from
whatever.
He's
Okinawa.
Yeah.
on
Same
it.
thing.
We need to give him
Same
some
thing.
more
Wow.
of this. He's
But-
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Either way,
His
what
brother.
does Miyagi say when he's asked if he's ever done that?
Don't know. Never been attacked
Tree
by a
don't
tree.
hit back.
never
Yeah.
been
All
attacked.
right.
No,
by a
he
tree.
said don't know. Never been attacked by a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Come on, guys.
I think it's a tree don't hit back.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, he said never been
we're gonna
attacked
look
by
this
a
up.
tree.
I would have bet $1.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Look it
All
up.
right, somebody better Google that
Bet
shit.
$1.
Google,
Right, so
Google,
you look-
hey,
so
you
just
got the
because-
fake
Well,
age.
gotta
June-
Google it,
Look
we
it up
know.
right now.
June signed
He
up.
said
Just
never been
because you
attacked by a
can
tree.
New
doesn't
York,
mean you have to,
and then
right?
Josh is from
Right.
Hot Springs,
And so,
Arkansas.
so Junior was trying. So I wrestled for a lot of years, right? And I started wrestling at age 5 and wrestled some in college. So Junior wanted to try out for wrestling in 8th grade. Before then, he had been fighting Taekwondo at the junior, dojo. And so he went out to try out for wrestling. These kids didn't know anything about Junior because he just transferred to the school.
Yeah.
And he was about 100 pounds then. He's 160, 170 now. And so he
Yeah.
tries out for the wrestling team where one of the heavyweight kids was walking around and slapping the smaller kids. So what do you think happened when he walked up and hit Junior?
Yeah,
Junior
that's
knocked
like
him the hell out. Junior knocked him the hell out.
Send him to, yeah.
Because he stepped back and the kid hit it out of natural reaction because he'd been fighting Taekwondo.
Right.
He knocked the kid out. But
I gotta
Junior,
Venmo you $1, buddy. Fucking off.
Damn.
but Junior felt bad
He
about
don't fight
that.
back.
He felt bad because he hurt the kid. He didn't mean to. It was just a natural reaction. And it took him a couple of days to tell me the story. And I told Junior, I said, I've always told this. You never start a fight, but you finish it, and you have every right to defend yourself. But that kid had hit 2 other kids prior to getting to Junior.
Mm-hmm.
What about those other kids that didn't think they had a right to defend themselves, right? Who didn't do anything? And what was going through that kid's head who thought it was okay? Now, I wrestled. In wrestling, you do a lot of hazing and things like that go on.
Yeah.
But this kid was going above and beyond that. What was going through his head thinking it was okay? But I
Well,
tell
what
you
was
what,
going
though,
through his head was that he was getting away with it.
Right.
It's like I told my kid, it's like, hey, look, there are going to be kids. Like I got the worst ass whipping I ever got was in the 8th grade. Kid was supposed to be in like the 20th grade, but he legitimately beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And like I tell my kid, it's like, hey, like there are some fights you're going to lose.
Yes.
The
Yes.
trick is
Just make them
you might get a sandwich out of me. You ain't getting a whole meal. One of us, we're
So-
both gonna have some
Yeah.
bruises. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna know you
Yeah.
got into a fight.
I
You might
will-
win it,
That's
but
right.
you don't know.
Something on your body is
Well,
getting
that's-
hurt.
I
when
will
we're
get
done.
this quote right from a movie. You walk over, but you're limping back.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You're damn right.
True.
You're damn right.
Yep.
I'll stick
Yeah.
this up the crack of your ass.
Yep. Hey, you know what? When I was wrestling, win, lose, or draw, something on your body was hurting out the rest of that match.
That's it.
'Cause that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
No, but
if you make them hurt, if you make them feel pain, they don't think about what they're supposed to be doing. And so my whole premise was, when I wrestled, I could take a pair of pliers and I could squeeze them together because I made my hand strength that strong. Because when I grabbed a kid, I wanted him to know that I was fucking had a hold of him.
Yeah.
And I taught my other kids the same way. When you grab a hold of something, now they're not thinking about what they need to be doing. They're thinking about why the hell you're breaking their hand while you're squeezing
How do I
it.
get out of this?
Right? How do you get out of it?
Well, we've covered toxic masculinity before. Buddy had a good rant on it, and again, it's like chivalry is dead, right? Like it's almost like you get made fun of for, I don't know, being the protector of a pack. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be a man to do that, right? That's nobody argues that. But if you are the strongest one, if you are the strongest one mentally, physically, right? There's 2 different kinds of protection. There's mental protection, there's physical protection, right? Like for physical protection, I don't want my daughters to have to do that.
Yeah.
If they choose to, sure. Right, but I don't.
They'll have the skills.
Like you will marry a man that when you're walking down the street, he stands on the inside.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
you know
Because
what?
if he's going to get hit by a car, not you.
Right.
Right.
Well, the problem with that whole theory is that
We got a woman on the show. She can.
The problem with the entire theory is that it's not that you don't like toxic masculinity. Oh, you love toxic masculinity when you outsource it because you're in trouble.
Yeah.
When something happens and you call the most toxically masculine soldier or the most toxically masculine cop to come get you out of trouble, because the only way to fight a bully is with somebody that's right there on the edge of being able to, because I'll just bully him back.
Yeah.
that's the difference. You don't have a problem with it. You have a problem with, the fact that if a man or a woman are an alpha female or an alpha male and they know what they want, you can't bully them. You can't emotionally push them around.
Right.
And if they're at the point where they're like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like if you're in my life, that's great. If you decide not to be in my life, you no longer have strings that you can pull with them to manipulate them to do what you want. And that loss of control for you, because you're so insecure with yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I just don't want anybody around me that I can't manipulate.
I tell my sons that nobody should have power over you except for your parents.
Yeah, go fuck
Nobody should ever walk over you. And I told
nobody
you,
should have
you're
power
stronger
over you.
than that.
Nobody should have power over you except for your parents. And at some point, there's a point where you should take that power, even like you're at the point where you're like, hey, look, I got that you're my parent.
Yeah.
But I'm 40-something years old now.
That's a natural process of life.
I'm going to listen to what you say, but I'm making my own decision.
Yeah, that's a natural process of life. And you allow them to succeed and fail. And that's just what you do.
Right. And so that's the problem. A lot of people don't let their kids fail.
A lot of people aren't the parents that should be. I teach my kids everything we talked about, but also I take a step farther. My kids know how to eat and grow things and not to go to the grocery store to get everything they need, because that's how I grew up. And I think that's important.
Do they also know that chicken doesn't come in a plastic wrapper all the time?
Yes, they do.
And some chicken has bone.
Yeah.
What?
Hey,
my God!
And why does the chicken run around for so long after you decapitate him? So hey, it is what it is. The food gets on your table for a reason. So
did they have grocery stores when you were a kid?
Did they have? We very rarely went to them.
Yeah. Clifford actually fought in the Civil War.
Yeah, I did.
People don't know that.
I did.
But,
Let me tell you, Sonny, back when I was your kid, I was your age, damn it. I walked to school both hills up both ways. Didn't finish snow.
Oh, man, one of my old soldiers just commented saying that I'm the most toxic one in the group.
Maybe most intoxicated right now.
So again, Mr. Starling, okay, like... I love this kid.
Are you triggered right now?
The first time,
are you being a triggered pansy?
I just said I love him. The first time I met this kid, right? He comes in and he's like, "Hey Nick, this is your new soldier." I was like, and it's a thunderstorm outside for PT, like lightning. And I was like, Dennis, get out there and go grab that fucking light pole. Right during a thunderstorm, right? And he got up and he started sprinting,
him, huh?
right? And I go, stop! Like I'm just joking, right? But no, that's the kind of soldier he was. A hard charger. Like I was like, go grab that fucking light pole. He was gone. He was ready to go grab it. I'm like, okay, time to work on.
No, you mean that's how influential your toxicity was.
Right, exactly. I was so toxic that he did exactly what I told him to do. But no, he's just fucking around. Dennis. Dennis is also a guy. Dennis is also a guy, and we'll segue into Buddy here in a second. Because there's another comment here that fits right into Buddy's narrative. But he's also the guy that said he was banging a chick that had AIDS. Right?
Did he cover it for one?
Well, he did. He covered it, but it's like you consciously were doing that.
But what is he having protective sex?
It doesn't matter. Still, like even they come off, right? Like
have you heard that old joke though?
Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I have to work with you now. Like, I have to work with you mentally.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, something's not triggered.
So, no, he ended up being a really good soldier. So, Dennis, it's good seeing you again.
Hey, Dennis, thanks for the comment. You triggered him. Good job.
Yeah. No, it's not. Everybody gets triggered. I didn't become a pansy. I gave him credit. All right, but anyways,
you can be triggered, just don't be a pansy.
Anyways, the guy with the name Left Behind. Right, he comments, and I always taught that sometimes it takes one man to stand tall with a big stick against adversity in his hometown. I'm a true New England Patriots fan, buddy, and those are the hometown streets, and that's my hometown armor. Some men understand what it's like to just have blood and two war heroes you knew. I don't know, he starts rambling here. And then he's like,
lots of that good 10th Mountain whiskey.
Yeah, sometimes you got to stand up for a worthy cause. That's right, but seeing as that we are on the topic of the New England Patriots, Buddy.
Hey, I heard Tom Brady's your new
Let's
buddy now.
get the honesty cap from Buddy. Buddy, Beck's honesty cap.
I've been waiting for this.
Where's your hat? Where's your honesty cap hat?
Let's get it on.
You know what? It's actually in the other room.
Son of a bitch.
Let us.
You didn't think the Atlanta Braves were not honest?
Whoa.
No, she.
Madam. The Crimson Tide.
No, he knows.
I know.
Triggered. She just got him.
I thought that aimed at for Arizona.
He's got to save the Tata shirt on, and you triggered him. Come on.
I can't believe he didn't fold his laundry in the background before he came on
Can I
the
just
show.
get some tatas? How about that? Like,
So yeah, let's talk about the New England Patriots ex-quarterback Thomas Brady. So Tom Brady apparently last week said that going or playing a football season is akin to a military deployment. Now, of course, this triggered our more snowflake-ish, if you will, veteran community, because how could a civilian ever compare a military deployment to being away from his family for 6 to 8 months in training camp and then playing football all year? Like, get a fucking grip. You don't own the term deployment. Like, contractors deploy, they go like
Fucking clown shoes over there.
he's gone away from his family, much like a military deployment. He's gone from his family. He probably talks to him more often on FaceTime than anything else. Just because he doesn't have IEDs going off doesn't make it any less.
Well, he probably gets hit harder than most people on deployments do.
I was going to say, you also don't have 350-pound giants coming at you trying to dislodge your face from the rest of your body either on a deployment. More often than he probably has had more concussions than most people that get rated for TBI do.
He never got hit that much.
No, he just got penalized. They get penalized.
Belichick kept a good line around him.
Yeah.
I mean, Belichick was smart. I mean, he kept his ass protected. I mean, he was picked 299th in the draft.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, people forget that.
That being said, everybody that's losing their mind, and like, first of all,
how about baseball?
From what I've seen, the
baseball
people
season
that
is
are,
way longer than football.
The people that are losing their mind with Tom Brady using the word military deployment as a comparison to his season, using words to compare two things, are, from what I've seen, they're not the 11 Bravos. They're not the 18 series. They're the freaking
or the 0311s.
Whatever.
We're in a Marine base.
Yeah.
77
wire jockeys.
Bravo Mike, whatever. Like, they're the people that were checking ID cards and making sure that the little arm on the gate came up and down.
Right.
Like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, just because somebody says something, and I would guarantee Tom Brady probably has talked to more than one person in the military, and that analogy probably came from one of them.
And he's actually visited troops in country.
Yeah.
Right? So he actually has deployed, right? Like, he actually has, right?
Well, I think he was just comparing, and I think he didn't do it.
But he's got more deployments than the
right?
slick sleeves that are getting mad about it.
Well, these are also the same people that compare like people in the military to professional athletes. You don't think that they get a little bit like you do an hour of PT in the fucking morning, dickhead.
Yeah.
These fuckers work 9 hours a day lifting, running, and doing stuff. And you're a professional athlete? No, you're not.
I hated that shit when they tried that Warrior Athlete program. I was like,
Oh
you
my
do
God.
realize that there's like 3 guys in my platoon that are actual athletes. Like the rest of them are like not athletes.
Right.
Like they're good dudes.
Most
They're
of them
awesome Americans, but they're not
Most
athletes.
of them, most of them sober don't have the hand-eye coordination to touch their nose. Like, they failed every field sobriety test because they can't sober to a field sobriety test. And we're gonna.
Well, he just hides
it's
in a cup.
It's all right for us to use an analogy that we're professional athletes because we get paid to do PT in the morning. But it's not all right for a professional athlete to say that when he's away from home for 6 to 8 months, that it's a lot like a military deployment. Get fucking over yourself. Calm down. Let people use words.
Follow verse 1, chapter 1 of the Book of Earl.
Yeah.
Quit being a triggered pansy.
Yeah. That's right. Go out there and buy that T-shirt. It's out on VeteranTrashTalk.com right now. Go buy it and wear it.
Put out a
create conversations at any part
Don't
live it.
Don't buy it and wear it. Buy it and like on your
embody that shit.
On your mirror, like somewhere where you can see it every morning. put it up.
Yeah.
So that you can look at it and go, oh yeah, that's what I'm today on my list of things not to do is don't be a fucking triggered pansy. Don't do that.
And again, it's okay to get triggered. It's not okay to be a pansy about it.
Right.
Nobody else has to fucking deal with your shit.
I mean, think about a police officer. He leaves his house every day. He doesn't know he's gonna walk back through that door. And
but he only
talks about that all the time
Cliff,
too.
He does that every single day for 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, you're just a cop. You're not a veteran.
Excuse me? First of all, just because you deploy doesn't mean you did anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? You can deploy and go stay in a Marriott.
You don't even have to. Okay, first of all, Cliff, we both know that what you're talking about right now. Okay? Just because I stayed in a Marriott on a deployment.
I know. Hey, they didn't know that.
That's why you go to selection.
Right?
You go to selection so you can grow a beard and stay at Marriott as Special Forces. Like, and then you can be you can be jealous all you want, but dude had a beard and stayed in Marriott.
You're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug. Some deployments suck ass, and some of them are a good fucking time.
And you appreciate the ones that don't suck ass, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with
everybody
that.
else that it's their first deployment. They're like, this isn't what I signed up for. I thought we'd be like gouging out eyeballs. They're like, shut the fuck up, nerd.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking
I'm gonna go down and get room service sent up here real quick.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you haven't had enough shelf-stable eggs in your life
Right.
to appreciate what we got going on right now.
You ain't had that shit that come out that's green and smells funny, but
the green eggs are good.
Oh, those big sheets of or pans of pork sausages that taste like rubber bands.
So good.
And you eat them like they were just the finest steak in the world, right?
Oh, and you can keep them for like a week and a half. Just put them on something.
Yeah, and if you got a flat tire, you plug the hole with it. I mean,
the greatest invention.
And a little bit.
The greatest invention in Army cooking. I don't know if the Marines have this. Is yakisobe. That's the greatest thing ever created.
Yeah.
Like, you can't screw that up.
That
It's
tastes
noodles and a ton of
3
salt.
o'clock in the morning.
I mean,
And you just,
anytime o'clock in the morning, like
Right.
No, the Army did.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
No, the Japanese probably developed the actual.
that's that appropriation.
The actual one.
Translated into from Japanese or
That was
whatever.
white privilege took over that.
Yeah, yakisoba.
Now we got yakisoba.
Spaghetti minus the tomatoes.
Yeah. See, you notice how we said white
put the
privilege right
eggs
next
in
to a
there.
black person because we're veterans. We don't care.
Hey.
Oh no.
This is bad. Yeah, plug it up.
So now I'm sure they're wondering why is AK here?
Yeah,
Why is she here?
There are liberals right now going nuts. You believe that white guy just said that next time?
Oh my God.
I'm offended that you said that.
Is it possible that they actually get along?
I'm gonna put that on my TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah, no way.
I don't even know how to spell
along with a
TikTok.
black
Right.
woman.
I can't Google it right.
He must have left all his privilege at the door.
He did.
Well, I have privilege. I had 5 TVs. Cliff only had 1 growing up.
I did only have one.
So,
the
I'm
first
just
time we got a
saying,
TV was in 1981. I kid you not. We lived on a farm. 1981 is the first time we got a TV. And then I learned what it meant to be say, hey, go change the TV as a kid. That was the first remote.
you were the first. I like that.
With rabbit ears and tinfoil. What the fuck is that?
outside doing dancing.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to our special guest for the day. So things always work out for a reason. So, again, I wish Thomas would have been able to come on. He's an author. Go buy his book so he doesn't have to work on Saturdays anymore.
Do you want me to read it again?
Please.
The year 1987.
Yeah.
The year was 1987.
Do that at the end. It was so
So
great.
no shit, there I was. All right, but anyways, I had the distinct pleasure of getting linked up with AK about a month and a half ago, something like that, and via email and LinkedIn and
Everything else.
And then through JC Glick hooked us up, and she was talking about something very similar to the Warrior Ride, right? Where we had Kyle who biked all the way across the country.
That's right.
Right? And
Diagonally.
That was
diagonally,
awesome.
yeah. And Buddy and I followed him on tour with the fifth principal.
We talked about it.
Promoted the whole thing. And it was phenomenal, like the response that it got and just the awareness of what he was doing it for. His buddy Sergeant Anthony Maddox that got killed, and he was the first
Really
responder
amazing.
there. But that's how he decided to deal with it, and but AK
And still deals with it to this day.
AK is a
Never stop dealing
Marine
with it.
Okay, a Marine, so she's tougher than everyone apparently, right? And of course she's a rifleman, right? Cause
I was gonna say we're in for rifle.
Every Marine is a rifleman.
Like they're all rifle,
right?
He's poking my leg.
Yeah, even Chris is a rifleman, right? But either way, she is. You biked from. She'll tell us all about it. She biked from somewhere to somewhere, right? Raising awareness. It's called Centuries
Against suicide.
Against suicide. Okay. And now what I'm gonna
not my breast, but like on my breast.
Why are you staring at my boobs? Because you put writing on.
We all have our 214s. It's all good.
Put your messages on your boobs.
Yeah. Again, toxic masculinity. That's only a guy would look at your boobs with writing on it. But
hey,
so,
not YouTube, but that's a genius place to put in.
It is marketing.
Really want
Men,
to
even on men, like most men have bigger breasts than I do. So
marketing.
you know,
Right.
But anyways, welcome to the show, AK. Welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. You have finally experienced it, is what it turns into. It's
absolutely.
a giant dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But
And
tell
we
us
just-
a little bit about what you're doing. And what I'm going to challenge you with is, with all the awareness that we're raising, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, that's
where we want to get after it. And the Celtic Warriors on. So, all right, cool. But welcome to the show, AK.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on, and great lead, because this all started because I was amongst a group of entrepreneurs, small business owners, veteran-owned businesses who were, already pretty much engaged in supporting our veterans, active duty reservists. I guess I should throw that in there. I'm Marine, but reservist, so maybe I'm a little less.
Hey, don't
downgrade yourself.
Hold that back now.
It's like a ranger.
Still serve.
Ranger that wasn't in a regiment. It's not a real ranger. There's ranger qualified. Okay.
But is a sap a real ranger?
Huh? Yeah.
I mean, put me in my place.
I mean, you have a long tab. It's not a ranger. It's not a real ranger tab. You have a ranger tab, but it's not a real one, right? You have a scroll. So
yeah.
Now we're getting away from our guests again.
It's all good.
Sorry.
So I was influenced by what they were already doing, right? And so they were absolutely putting in their resources, and some of them alternative, some of them that aren't necessarily promoted or talked about as outlets for stress, just everyday stressors. And I asked each one of them, hey, would you give me the opportunity to highlight what you do? I don't have anything. I don't own a business. And all I have is a bike, some energy and a voice, and kind of started calling me Bev for a minute there, but that's what I used. So I decided actually in Maryland for the cycling classic that I would pretty much cycle the next 3 months to raise awareness so that I can highlight exactly what they did. So we have about six businesses, Hold My Guns, Linus Defense, Disruptor Now, 1111 Veteran Project. We got a few others that are just not coming to memory
Moth
right
and
now.
Flame.
Moth and Flame. And one of the ways that I went about, No Crab, highlighting some of their work was I loaded my backpack with a bunch of their products or advertisements and did my best at when I cycled, if I stopped at some business or if I stopped to get water, whatever it was, to, hey, highlight what they did. But that was my intent. And it turned out to be the reverse, because when I was stopping along my cycling route, I was engaged in conversations about people's personal struggles. Yeah. So along the journey, I started in Maryland. The 1111 Veteran Project, Colin Gare is a professional race car driver, so the destination was Florida, Sebring, Florida. And when I got to Sebring, Florida, I was going to cycle 100 miles from Sebring to SOCOM in Tampa. Now, unfortunately, Ian caught up with me, and I had to go back up the southern East Coast. But along the way, I got to learn about various families, many of them veteran, active duty, reservists, who had already been struggling or had lost a loved one to suicide. So I think I was in the Lejeune area and sat down and learned about someone's family member who had passed away, who had completed suicide. So that day I decided that my rides would now be dedicated to those who were struggling or those who had completed suicide. Because there was so much silence around it, especially in our active duty and veteran communities, to not talk about why they did it or the resources that didn't exist for them. So that's why I started cycling. And the Centuries Against Suicide began because of the how long we've been fighting it, but also the ride that I will be doing on 10 November, 100 miles.
Don't say cheers devil dogs on that. Facebook will kick you for bullying.
That's right.
I met AK 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I met you. You came to my house.
And ate his ribs.
Yeah, well, she didn't eat my ribs. She ate my steak. She didn't eat ribs. But, as a suicide survivor, I appreciated her story, right? So I'm a guy who's been there, right? I'm a guy who went from A and as close to Z as you can get without completing. I understand that story. I understand that path. And I believe in so much of what she was doing and what she was saying and the stories that touched her. I donated to the cause, and immediately.
Thank you.
I dropped the G for that because I think it's important. And so many times as veterans, and I was talking to a gentleman out front, and he asked me, he goes, how did you do that transition from being active duty to civilian? And that's not an easy transition. The longer in service, it's harder because you get so used to being scheduled. Or
Unless you're at Veteran
timed.
Trash Talk.
Right.
No
We have that now. We didn't have that then.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I said, you have to find a path that works for your life, right? And spending an hour on Saturday with Veterans Trash Talk or Tuesdays with Mental Health Boy is very important. You need to add that into your path if it's not in there. But all joking aside, it is important. And when you transition out of the military, and I think that's why we're here in this building with what they're trying to do, it's very important. And I think sometimes it's for people like you who suddenly feel passionate about doing something, and Kyle did the same thing. Because for whatever reason, and to go out and do extraordinary things, to ride a bike for so long and to do that, I think is very important. I mean, that's why Veteran Trash Talk exists, that's why Mental Health Warrior exists, because we don't want that person to be in that room like I was, right? Cliff Bauman sitting in a dark room on December 20th, no longer wanting to live life.
Yep.
And we don't want them to pick up that gun. We don't want them to take those pills. We don't want them to do anything that's going to end it. We want them to say, hey, it's okay that I'm out here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's okay for me to pick the phone up and to call somebody.
Right.
Right? Don't be like me, because I wasn't strong enough to do that. I'm a strong guy for my size, right? I wasn't strong enough to pick up this little bitty phone and call somebody, right? And that's why we do what we do, and that's why AK is doing what she's doing. And I think it's very important. And we should never lose sight of that.
Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, I was just wondering, AK, so you started out as raising awareness, as being the thing, and there's a lot of people that raise awareness or whatever. Did you ever find that in starting out as raising awareness, that your mission kind of turned from raising awareness to just listening to other people tell you their story and giving them an opportunity to kind of vent or tell you their story, which helps as much or more than raising awareness?
Well, that's exactly what extended my cycling, right? So I think I had two different end dates for this, aside from, the Hurricane Ian, disrupting my cycling, but absolutely. And that's what really powered me to continue to cycle, is the people's personal journeys and stories along the way. And that's exactly why I'm still cycling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, a lot of our own issue is that we just, like Cliff was saying, we didn't want to pick up the phone and we don't want to talk.
Yeah.
And just the power of just letting yourself, hearing yourself talk to somebody else about what issues you're having, either lets you know that they're not as big as you thought they were, or that they're at least you can deal with them, or you can at least get them out of your head so that you're not having that constant voice in your head telling you that you're a fuck up or that you're never going to be good enough or your best years are behind you or whatever.
Yeah, we cover that. We cover that, once in a while on the show about, be proud of your military service, but it doesn't define you. right? Like
that's a hard one to take.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's tough.
But because it's such a big part of you, and it's
and you're
it's a
proud
heart
of
and soul,
that.
and that's
you're
why
proud of that fact.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about something Susan wrote here, where again, this is comment on Veteran Trash Talk that we read this, and we do have to correct it though. And she's like, veterans need help, actually get help. Veterans that need help don't actually get help. That's the problem. They need to be carried and dragged to a psychologist. Why? Because as defenders and warriors, you were trained to never be the ones that need help. That's not true, all right? It's true for some people,
right?
Yeah.
Right? And again, veterans are a minority, okay? So don't lump us all on the same page, right? We are all not the same, right? Like we are all beautifully different, right? But we have a common bond. That is, we chose to serve our country, and we become brothers and sisters in that. Now, I see a shrink. I go once a month, right? And nobody had to drag me, all right? I had to fuck up. Like, I yelled at my kid something fierce that I shouldn't have, and that was my trigger, right? When I yelled at my oldest daughter the way I yelled at her one time, I was like, something's fucking wrong with me. Right?
And that mortified you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I gotta go get help.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that absolutely not. So, Susan, if you know those people that need to be dragged and kicked, bring them to the show. All right? We are all combat arms people, okay, on this show. Like, we've seen it. Okay, we've done it. And it, like, we don't talk about it like the blood and guts, like, you know, like, oh, fucking skull crossbones. Like, no, we've done that. We're here to help.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't care what you did or what
we
you
don't
went
care
through.
if you saw combat or not.
Yeah. We just want you to know that it's okay to be that way.
Right.
And it's okay to think that you don't need help.
Yeah.
It's okay. But it's up to you to realize when you do.
Yeah.
Right? It's up to you.
Yeah.
All right? Get the demon
Well,
out.
and it's okay to go get help. It's okay to talk to somebody about, even if you're not talking to, and like it's for me, like I don't go to a shrink. I don't go to anybody else, but who I do go to on a very regular basis are people that I was in the Army with before. Like, and I talk to people that I served with before, and we all go through the same struggles. We all go through the same. To know that there's somebody else that's going through the same thing. When it gets to a point, like, we're all pretty honest with each other. When it gets to a point where if one of them were like, "Hey, man, like, you're a little fucked up. Maybe you should go talk to somebody." Then you go, "Oh, well, maybe I should go talk to somebody."
When I was going through what I went through, I didn't have that.
Yeah. Well, I think we all have it.
And then
maybe I wouldn't have done what I did had I had that.
Well, Julie's commenting on that is like sometimes people don't have that. Sometimes,
Well,
Julie's saying the same thing you said in the chat thread. Like,
you know what? I will argue that until the day I die, and the reason that I will argue that is because we decide that we don't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in our head, we all do the same thing. When we get out, when we're not out, when whatever, we think, oh, well, I'm thinking about Snuffy that I used to serve with, but he's not thinking about me. And he's sitting over in a different state going, man, I wonder what happened with that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what he's doing. I'd love to talk to him. But he's probably not thinking about me. I'm not going to bother him. And we're both the same. We have the same thought process.
Yeah.
But and all it would take is a phone call to that guy. But, hey, man, how's it going? Or to that girl or to whoever. And be like, hey, how's it going? How you been? And every single time you ever talk to somebody that you served with, it's like you saw each other the day before.
Yeah.
I've never met with anybody that I had served with after 10, 15, even 20 years, never really talked to them, and within 5 minutes wasn't having exactly the same conversation that I was having 15 years ago with them, ever. Because you still got that common bond. You've still got a common story and a common thread. You have shared values. You have shared vocabulary. You have a shared sense of humor, and you've got shared suffering in between you. And you can tell people stuff that you've suffered with before that you can't tell people that
you don't have to over-explain stuff.
We're all brave fans here, so yeah.
They already know because they've been there. They understand it.
They've already seen you at your fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
At the proctologist.
I'll offer a alternative perspective. So my challenges when I was no shit considering suicide. I was in a schoolhouse, and I was miserably failing this schoolhouse, or that's what I felt anyhow. And I was trying to be a good wife, a good freaking mom, and all these things as we all experience. But I had just started. By at 32 years old, I had just started. And the difference for me was that I hadn't had a bond yet. I hadn't had any adhesive to my counterparts in the classroom or anything like that. And so I definitely felt alone in that perspective. But like, didn't have 15 years. I didn't have 10 years. I didn't have 5. And so when people were calling me, I refused phone calls and tried it my own way, which wasn't effective. And so for that, what I tried and what I've learned in just my cycling journey and listening to other people is highlighting those alternative resources. And one of the companies I do want to shout out is Racing for Heroes. One of the things that we do as armed service members is have adrenaline pumping through us all the time, even if it's just a PT session, even if it's like getting online right here, right? And doing what you already enjoy. So I appreciate that organization, because racing cars, shooting guns, like getting down range, enjoying it with your buddies, is an everyday thing that we do that can bring us back together, and someone else's eyes on you, like you're right there. And like I said, those alternative resources, like we had today, we're at Cyberbites, like they said, we had iRacing rig, Sim Seats, and Ian Ogden here from Racing for Heroes to provide that as an outlet. We had the doggies, the little pups, right? Like
I beat AK in the racing though.
He did beat me by how much?
By 1/100th of a second.
and Colin did go out and drive the Mustang today.
He did.
He did take the green machine out, and I never let anybody drive my Mustang.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna let somebody, it's a professional race car driver.
Yeah, right.
That's okay.
Yeah,
it's cold trickle.
And I have a little bit of tread left on my tires.
Yeah. And it's not always going out and checking in with the therapist. Not to say like anything against that. Commend Your Honor for that, but like sometimes it is no shit, like using
sometimes
gaming.
you need
Sometimes
It's the whole thing.
Well, and then this is what VeteranTrashTalk is here for.
Don't get me wrong.
VeteranTrashTalk is here because I can't, and Cliff knows this, we can't stand when, and like you mentioned earlier, buddy, with toxic masculinity, of when it's all of a sudden now you want to ask for help, right? Now you want somebody to help you. You want somebody strong to take care of you, right? Like, no. Like we should not expect the government to take care of us.
Hell no.
Should they have? Do they send us to war? Did they send us to war? Or did the American people send us to war? Right? Like which one is it? Right? What does the Constitution say? Right? We are
That's a whole other show.
Yeah, whole other show. Right? We are supposed to take care of each other. Right? That is the strongest community that we could possibly have. So if we just all came in here and took care of each other, 44,000 nonprofits. 44,000 veteran nonprofits, right? So, and like Buddy said, sometimes people choose to be alone. So like veteran homeless. Yes, let's build a house for all of them. Sure.
They did that in Virginia.
Sure, right. Like, sure. But how many of them are choosing to be there?
Yeah.
Some people want to be that way.
Yeah.
Right. So, AK, how can people donate to your cause, and where does the money go?
Yeah, all right. So I'll answer the latter question. So the money goes to these organizations who are already doing those alternative resources, like no crap, like having a day where you don't have to pay for ammo to go down a range, right, and let some loose. Getting in a car and driving fast, going to a race, being there to celebrate our fellow veterans. Understanding the data behind it within a day. That's where this money is going to. And so if you wouldn't mind sponsoring me, particularly for the cycling, I'm asking $1 per mile. So on the 10th of November, I'll continue cycling through Veterans Day. Say that again?
You owe me 1,000 miles.
I do, and I'll give it to you. I will. It might take me till 2023, but I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah.
You got to bring back some 10,000 whiskey. Right in Colorado.
Back in the Jeep,
Smoking in the van.
I don't mean to brag, AK. But at one point, I got I was doing a St. Jude's bike-a-thon when I was about 12 years old, and I got some people to give $1 a mile because they didn't think that I was going to go very far.
Ooh.
They were real upset when I went like the 40 miles or whatever because I wanted to get that free bike.
There you go.
That's right.
I would tell you that
it was selfish. It was nothing to do with kids' cancer.
No, it was 100% selfish. Like, well, what do you want? Of course it was. I would love to give you $1 a mile.
Yeah.
But you look like you got a lot of miles.
That's why I kept it.
Hey.
I'll give you a dime every mile.
Yeah, if Big Earl said $1 a mile, I'd be like, okay, I can support that because he's probably going to make it a block. And he's like,
You said when you're a kid, you can't tell me.
That's all relative. Like I said, you're dime for a dime. Like,
dime for a dime. Well, you said you did that as a kid, and you can't tell me I don't look 12 years old. So I'll just say I'm a kid. $1 a mile, right?
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
10 November, I'll cycle 100 miles. I'll be cycling up until Veterans Day. If you guys could contribute, I think we have it on the link for VTT.
And Gruntworth. All I'm looking for is a like an oath promise type thing that we go 100 miles. That we're not like, hey, we extended this to 1,000.
No,
we went 1,000 miles.
You got my oath. Let me just tell you, the spaghetti legs would probably not sustain.
By the way, you remember that $1 a mile where you had that $100 check?
Yeah, I just rode 1,000,000 miles, bro.
I did 3 laps around the United States. So
Right.
I'm going to take a payment plan for that. Like, what? No.
Will that be cash or check?
With my bank account works.
Yeah.
I don't have $2,500. I don't have $2,500.
Well, you heard him. I already owe him extra miles.
Yeah.
So he's a high donor.
Well, when Buddy outdo me again.
Yeah, I do need to know how much was donated.
Come back on me and CEO shit.
1,001. I'm gonna call it the one more mile donation. One additional mile worth of stuff.
I might have to change my shirt, man.
We might need one more mile.
One more mile.
One more titty.
That's a good name, the One More Mile Foundation.
It is a good. That's a good name.
Hey,
we
4,441 now.
Yeah.
Chris, can we Google that to see that's already
exists? See if anybody has the One More Mile Foundation. But hey, let's bring your video guy on the camera right now.
Okay, he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, come on over here real quick.
He was actually with me.
I just realized he's been filming the whole time.
You gotta see this jacket. This guy's it is straight fire.
Yeah.
I think we got some room for you.
Hey, but you know what? Nothing beats me going deer hunting last year in the Squid Games outfit.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
You had the whole 9.
You just gotta
You're
show.
close to it.
Yeah.
I'll slide over so you can slide.
My TBI, is it Darren?
We got one chance in the building, Baltimore.
4 stars, like he's a general or something.
Yeah, 4-star general in the fire jacket. Look at that thing, bro.
One change apparel, pretty cool.
One change apparel.
One chance.
One chance apparel.
There we go.
That jacket not only works in the club, but also in the fields. Like you can go out hunting and be fine. The only people that aren't seeing you. The only people that aren't seeing you are deer. Literally.
Yeah, they're colorblind. People don't realize that. Why do you wear orange when the deer are colorblind?
So since he got to show his shit off,
we're colorblind here at VeteranTrashTalk.
Since he got to show his shit off, I'm not gonna pull down my clothes.
Excuse me. What?
I was like, whoa, what's about that?
Wait, did we switch gears and I missed it?
What is that for, Hank Aaron? What is that for, Hank Aaron? 44?
No, actually, so 44 is my favorite number. 44 is Colin Garrett's.
The Atlanta Braves, like Buddy's hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
Look at that.
Oh my God!
Go Dogs! Go Dogs!
Hey, you know what? Maybe this year you might have to watch out for those balls.
Oh, swinging!
So why is 44 your favorite number?
I see it the most often. Since I was a kid, I see that number the most often, especially when it comes to the clock. So. In fact, my car.
I see 6s all the time.
Oh, that's bad.
That's because you're the devil.
Yeah.
My first house I bought, I kid you not, was at 666 West Pearl in Aurora, Missouri.
Yeah, like, and it's weird.
And that's the
with
reason
your
I bought
story
the
with
house.
9/11 is my mom said it was when I was a kid that when the clock hit 911, you always said something. You were like, "Look, Mom, 911."
Oh.
You know, and it's like, but it wasn't because of the September 11th. It was because of the show 911.
Yeah.
Like
God,
the
how
show
young are
was
you?
fucking
Yeah.
legit. But it's like, yeah, it's just the numbers. You know, like you
No,
see that
it's a
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. So Colin
Numbers are a
Garrett's
thing.
car is
It's
44.
a conspiracy. So we did the conspiracy at the end of the show.
You know, every part of my name has 6 letters in it. My first,
Like
middle,
Ronald
and
Reagan.
last.
Ooh,
You're like
that's
Ronald
a new
Reagan. You're
level.
the Antichrist.
My name probably has 44 characters too. With
Maybe
one there.
you just sort of think, hey,
Yeah, if she says,
and I couldn't even remember that.
It has 44
We
letters.
won't talk about how the number 4 in Chinese culture is a really bad number.
Why won't we talk about that? Why is it bad?
It's the word.
We're talking to the baker. He's in the same room with us.
The word 4 is too close to the word death.
But death twice. Like, what about that? Does that mean I get to
Double death.
revive? Like 44? Because
They consider it double bad luck. Like, people will change birth
The
certificates.
Chinese live forever, so it's like,
People would
as long as
change
you're not
birth
Muslim.
certificates so they're not born on the 4th of a month.
If you're a Muslim in China, watch out.
Ooh, boy.
Right, they're coming after you.
First of all, you're locked in your house in China, so you're not
But you
getting
said
out
there were
anyway.
44,000 veteran-owned
Non-profits,
businesses.
yeah.
Yeah, so what about that?
44,000.
Like, you know, we're supposed to be alive.
That doesn't make any sense.
It
Chris.
does. It was science.
Like the word 4 is.
I'm going to Google that right now.
Hey, she used to work for the CDC.
Oh, don't tell me.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Oh,
Did I put the paper
CDC
bag
in
over
the
my
house.
head now?
The word 4 and the word death are really
the most
close
popular
together.
group in America right now.
Yeah.
3
Not
letters
against
that'll make
you.
you turn red.
But the word
I work
the
for a
word
three-letter agency.
death,
The word death?
and the word death are pretty close together too. But
Yeah.
like people that can't hear
Are
aren't like,
dead.
oh my god, it was no kidding.
But if they
It was
can't
a-
hear, how do they know you said it?
Well, they
They
came
read your
by.
lips.
I didn't think that it was
You
like
just
a
said
black
when they
cat
hear that.
walking
A deaf
across.
person can't
Which is
hear
funny
it, buddy.
because my car is Puma and,
Hey.
and she's black.
You know what? and Helen Keller could only see possibilities.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
That's how
That's
she
all I
burned her
need to
ears.
see.
She thought the phone was the iron. What?
And now you know.
All right. The more you know. Reading Rainbow.
I did see when I was coming back from a deployment, a lot like Tom Brady, not a huge deal.
So you went from Cincinnati to Kansas City? Is that what
Although
you're saying?
you're walking a lot better than Tom does after a game.
we stopped in Atlanta, and it was
Good point.
one of those like those make you feel good posters or whatever. But it was like a picture of Helen Keller, and it was like she only saw possibilities. And one of my team leaders was with me, and I started dying laughing. He was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "She couldn't see a damn thing."
Yeah.
Fucking liar.
they're so
Fact check that shit. Yeah. So let's do a recap here, and then we can close it out. So we'll do a little AAR. What did we learn today? All right. Toxic masculinity is bullshit.
Yeah.
All right. Like, it is bullshit. We all know that. All right. And again, these are things that, as an alpha male or alpha female, you don't care what those people think.
No, you don't care. Yeah.
Right?
It's
like,
hilarious.
you just go back to your little one-bedroom apartment and thank
Living
God
mommy's
that all
basement.
the food comes from supermarkets and not farmers, right? Like, you know, like,
It's a
thank
sad
you,
day.
good job, all right? Like,
Yeah.
solid.
You go ahead
all
and
right?
starve to death. My kids are going to be fat.
And
and
here's
happy.
here's the Big Earl's take on this and the AAR is the beauty of people who think like that is it allows people like us to win. Right, so when we go make it happen and we go take care of people, it's because there's people that need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Right, and that's you. All right, that's you. The one that hates toxic masculinity, like that's you. All right, and then the other AAR point is Tom Brady. All right, as an American, and again, he's still the most interesting man in the world.
He is.
No matter what
The
anybody
most?
says.
Yeah.
The most interesting man in the world.
Look,
right?
look at the drive he has to succeed.
He's not a good athlete.
You don't think I'm the most interesting man in the world?
No, you're a woman.
Yeah.
There we go again. That's
right?
that toxic
Well, we do
masculinity.
that. Toxic
Told
masculinity.
me
He
I
told
am
you as a
so-
woman.
So we
Hey,
could,
she identifies
we
as
could
a
make
man.
an
right now,
argument
it's
for
like-
AK as being the most interesting woman in the world, or let's just say person, the most interesting person in the world. But once it's Tom Brady, so your
That's his
argument
white
lasts about
privilege.
5 seconds because it's Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady, again, he has impregnated 2 of the top 15 hottest women in the world, right?
Kudos.
So, right, 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right, and again, these women got paid.
Hands
for
down,
their-
best deployment ever.
the best deployment of all time, right? Like my wife hates when I talk about this, but like, you know, their whole lifestyle, these two women, is their body.
Yeah.
Right? And they were like, Tom, fuck this shit up. Like, you know what? I don't need
You know,
my job anymore.
Giselle had a good argument. Her argument was I took a break to raise the kids.
She makes more money than Tom Brady.
No, and you said you were going to retire, but you're not.
Right.
And that's what she had a problem.
lied?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And he lied.
He couldn't give it up.
But he's the most interesting man in the world. He does whatever he wants.
He did give it up. He's got kids.
Tom Brady does what Tom Brady wants.
Yeah, right.
Right? And so we learned this. Tom Brady can say whatever he wants. He's pretty much Delta Force. Okay?
I knew he was going there. I knew it.
That's what we figured out today. Tom Brady is probably task force
Your social media is going to blow up right now.
Right,
Thank God you're not on TikTok.
He's probably task force orange, right? He's probably doing a lot of weird stuff that we don't know about.
Chuck
right?
Norris ain't got shit on
Chuck Norris bows to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
All right.
Chuck Norris gets advice from
Okay.
Brady. Yes.
All right.
As the Chuck Norris lookalike, right?
Yeah. You know, Buddy does look like Chuck. I just realized that.
That's what I said.
That's why you always look familiar, Buddy. You always look like Chuck Norris. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
She just said it.
There you go.
Now it clicked on me.
I also,
I'm a little slow. I'm old, according to Big
my
Earl.
house is
See, this is
also,
how you do an AAR. See the conversation we've created.
my house was actually designed after Chuck Norris's house. It's a big circle. It's a round house.
You mean you run in circles?
So that way you go in circles and you always come back around to your laundry in the background that's not folded?
No, it's just a roundhouse.
You know, Chuck Norris sued.
They got it.
Chuck Norris
They got
sued ABC for the rights to Law and Order. You know that? Yeah, because that's the name of his left and right leg.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. He's also only got a Ranger tab.
Yeah. He didn't. They just gave him one.
Yeah.
It's an honorary one. Because it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, and then
He actually christened Ranger School. He was like, okay,
yes,
I'll let it
Doesn't he
be.
look like him?
Yeah.
He does look like Chuck Norris.
Crazy.
Yeah, he does look like Chuck Norris. Well, he is the most qualified soldier.
Doesn't have the
in the
physique.
world.
Yeah, he kind of
from the neck down. From the neck
Well, I
down.
mean,
He
look
looks like
at
Chuck Norris.
He's a combat dive supervisor. He's a Halo jump master. He's a static line jump master.
So you are
He's
fucking
special
Chuck.
forces, right? Ranger.
I'm not a Halo jump master.
You're not.
I'm just
Oh,
a
you
Halo.
fucked
I'm
that
just
up.
Halo qualified.
Well, that must
I'm a
have,
Halo guy.
that must have been your
See,
boy over in first group line.
In Chuck Norris
Yeah.
fashion, he owns up to his, faults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's not
and,
fault.
then we also had we had the awesome AK on the show.
Hey, yes.
All right, and
Yeah.
she
Use that
is
for more.
again wanted to raise awareness, and then it turned into just being a trip for mental health or behavioral health. We call it. We can't call it mental health. I got yelled at by Spanky from WTF for saying that.
AJ brought up a good
I'm
point.
learning too.
It's behavioral health.
Yeah.
Okay,
Behavioral
not
health.
mental health.
We had a great day
'Cause
here.
we don't
When
wanna-
she's back on the show, she can yell at you.
Huh?
Yeah.
When Spanky
You
comes
come
back,
on my
she can
show
yell at you.
anytime.
Okay,
Right,
cool.
and then,
Okay.
and then Susan's absolutely
thank
right.
you.
I blocked her from all of our groups and Facebook pages except for this one because
Gotcha.
she's.
But she brings up a good
OC.
point. Is the stories of veterans that motivate us and people in general to do what we do.
Yeah.
To come on this show and Veteran Trash Talk and talk about what we talk about. Because we laugh and we joke, but in the end run, it's not easy. We've all been in those places, and we just don't want people to be in that place anymore.
Yeah.
We want you to laugh and joke about it, and log on to watch our shows and do whatever, and realize it's okay. Jump on a bike and go ride it.
Come with
Go
me.
listen to stories. There's some fucked up stories out there. I've heard a lot of shit stories. You don't hear good stories. You hear not good, and you have to stand there and smile and thinking, wow, I thought I was in a messed up place,
Right.
but that's a messed up place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hats off to her or him to tell me that story, because sometimes that's the first time they tell you that.
That's right.
And we all get that.
Yeah.
Right? You get that, Nick. AJ,
Yeah.
AK, you get that. I called you AJ again.
Yeah.
AK, you get that. Buddy, you get that. We all understand that. And
Cliff's
but-
first boyfriend's name was AJ. So
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I knew it was something.
it's kind of we kind of do what
Wasn't
we
an 80.
do to show people that on the other side of the bad parts, there's still life. It's still,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fine.
Just like his what was your name again?
Benji.
Benji. What did his apparel say? You get one chance, right?
Yeah.
One chance. We get one go at this life, and that's it. And so what are you
shit.
gonna make out of
Yeah,
it?
and definitely don't end it early, right?
Yeah.
And then hey, buddy, stand up real quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you
Show
gotta
us your
check it
PT
out.
belt.
Okay, so
It's still that month.
that shirt,
Yeah.
that shirt right
It is.
there is for our good friend Boats. All
Good
right,
Friday's our fight.
Boats O'Shaughnessy lost his wife to cancer. and it was heartbreaking for him. And he's a big fan of our show, and he's a great friend of ours. So we created that shirt. Every single time somebody buys that shirt, VTT makes $0. Zero. All right? All the money from that shirt, we have it coded out. That money just goes right to frickin'
my older brother's wife.
There you go. You get a better look at it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
My older brother's wife, I never talk about this. She has stage 4 breast cancer, and she's, thank God for her, she's been fighting, and she's the strongest person I know, and I dedicated my documentary to her. But she has terminal cancer, and they're going through that. So when he was on the show, and I don't understand the struggle, but I understand the struggle as somebody who's...
You can empathize with it.
Yeah, I empathize, because they've been married for almost 30 years. And now my brother's, going through that, and what a horrible thing to go through. What a horrible, terrible thing to go through.
All right, and I'll leave you with the book Earl here, guys. What's the difference in empathy and sympathy? All right, empathy leads to action.
Yeah.
Okay, sympathy's a hug. Yeah. All right, empathy leads to action. Do something about it. So, anyways, it was great having AK on the show. It was great being on location with all my friends and family. All right, again, if you were in the military, you're my family. I might not like you, but you're still my family.
You like me, though.
And I'm
You're tolerated.
I'm gonna do my best to help you, but if I have to slap you, I'm gonna slap you. All right, like that's just the way it is. But we will see you guys next week. It's gonna be awesome. Are we have a show next week? What's the date? Halloween? Yeah, we got a show.
Spooky show.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Dave might have something going on.
Dave probably won't be.
Been in black.
Dave's too busy getting.
He's in a dark room with a light bulb hanging over him.
Yeah, trick or treat. But hey, we will see you guys next Saturday. Hey, our sponsors and our partners are gonna be on after this, the next screen. So click on the QR code. Get that hangover relief stuff. I'm gonna need that.
You never have a hangover.
I'm gonna need that.
You never have a hangover.
So we will see you guys.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me on.
Take care.